Children of the night. My name is Count Fantastic with my awesome friends here to talk about films.
Hi,
Hello,
I'm Sarafina.
I'm Joe. I really need like red hair or something.
Just last night I watched The Train to Busan. It's a fantastic Korean horror film, originally based on anime that was very popular, so they make into live action film. The cynical workaholic and divorced father. His little daughter, Su-yan, he takes her on train to Busan. When the zombie outbreak happens.
Hey, when that happens.
Oh, it is
Damn.
absolute action-packed, hand-to-hand, hand-to-teeth combat, explosions! And if you do not cry at the end, you are not a human being.
Zombies are always good. My first film was I Was a Teenage Were-Skunk. It was from 2016, and it was sort of a homage to I Was a Teenage Werewolf, which was like 1950s. This was set in the 1960s. It also had a touch of Hairspray. People burst into song and dance, as people will do. The Were-Skunk does not disappoint. The supporting characters are awesome as well. There's like an anachronistic deputy who keeps, this is supposed to be in the early 60s, and she'll break out her cell phone and she'll go, oh, and kind of hide it. The Were-Skunk does consume some entrails. It's quite good. They spent a lot of time getting the details right, except for the one character who ends up being a cyborg. So, oops, I gave it away.
Spoiler, where's Skunk?
Yeah.
I watched a non-wacky movie called It Comes at Night. People have the plague. It's real creepy where you never totally know what's going on. There's a lot of uncertainty. They never really explained what's this catastrophe, but this family's kind of holed up in their house. They've got it all boarded up. The music is really tense, but not a lot of horror stuff actually happens. But it's just really scary because you know something bad's going to happen. There's something bad out there. It's a really dark ending. So, yeah, it was really good, though.
The next film I watched on my world tour of horror actually comes from Paris, France. It's funny, even the little Eiffel Tower in background, it's fantastic. So there is a young man named Sam. And Sam is about to have the worst day of his life. So he is stuck in high-rise Parisian fancy-smancy apartments and no way to get out. Entire building surrounded by zombies.
I hate when that happens.
Oh, I love bad day. It's great. It has massive drum solo, fighting zombies. And at the very end of the film, he starts hearing these scraping sounds coming from the walls. And he discovers he's not alone.
Ooh. Are these fast zombies or slow zombies?
Oh, fast zombies. Super fast.
Oh, fast zombies are the worst. Yeah. My second film is a classic. It's a silent film from 1920, so it's 100 years old this year. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. It's German expressionist cinema. Sets are all like nothing's at a 90-degree angle. It's everything's at angles, all shadows and light, and highly stylistic. And it's just nightmarish. The story is about a showman who exhibits a sleeper, somnambulist, wanted to say that right, who he orders to kill people at night. Commentary on post-World War I Germany about how they look for a strong man to brutal authority. And we know how that works out in World War II. There's an awesome twist ending, slightly undermines that, but the subtitles even are disturbing. It's really quite good. And that one's on Canopy.
My second film is also kind of a punk rock horror movie. Like, it's also highly stylized. I watched Green Room. It's a punk rock band, a grungy band. You know, they're touring in their van. And you just have this bad feeling the whole time. But they get to this venue and it's just bad news. I don't want to give away too much, but these are bad people and they really should have gotten out of there right away. But they play the show and then something horrible happens and they get trapped. So they're basically have to fight their way out of this venue. Very violent movie. Lots of times when I went, ugh, So not for the faint of heart at all. Horrific, really bad guys. The look of it was really cool, and a lot of kind of punk rock music. So we watched Attack of the Killer Donuts. This was Count Fantastic's selection. And after this movie, I think I'm going to start calling you Count Wackula, because this movie was whack.
It was so cheesy, it was good.
It was a love story, a wonderful love story with donuts that killed.
For anyone that's worked retail service and they want to just, go crazy and have revenge is good. There's glow-in-the-dark green goop. There's mad scientists. My personal favorite was the giant shootout of cop versus donuts.
After I watched this movie that it would make me want to eat a donut, but I have to say this movie made me never want to eat donuts again because those donuts just looked so gross.
I don't need any donuts. This movie has possibly the weirdest death on screen you'll ever see. Well, I can't really say much more because this might be potentially a family show here. So it's gross. It's disgusting. You know what I mean?
Oh, what was your guys' favorite films out of all of them?
I liked all of them. I don't think I could pick one. The different buttons that they push.
There's such a variety of horror, You've got your silly horror, gross out horror.
You got your zombies. You got your donuts.
I think the best that I watched was It Comes at Night because it had clearly a lot of metaphorical stuff going on. The atmosphere was just so creepy and tense.
For me, I think my favorite one was Train to Busan. It's a no-brainer.
Well, I hope you guys have a horrific week. Keep your scaries to the movies.
Definitely, not real life.